Stop hiring tasks, start buying back hours. Launch is a capacity sprint. Inbox, calendar, recurring tasks, building systems, processes, analyzing them. In a few minutes, I'll show you what Launch is inside a remote operations partner. The initial wins we set up to free founder time, and what not to put in Launch, and how to know when you're ready to move to delegate. Launch is the first step of the ROP ladder. It's not a VA, it's not a headcount, it's a capacity sprint focused on the three foundations: inbox, calendar, and recurring work. So you stop context switching and start getting your day back. So we start by a very quick win. This is something that I'm very familiar with. If your inbox looks like 500, 1,000, 2,000 unread emails coming from advertising to newsletters to requests to agreements to client communications, team communications, you name it, that's the first thing that you want to hit. You want to prioritize the routing so that only high signal messages or high importance messages hit your view or review. Templated replies or creating templates so that usual requests can be quickly done. And then a same day sweep so that nothing stale blocks tomorrow. Next, calendar. This time you get a gatekeeper. So what I mean by that, it's scheduling. Now, I don't know about you, but I was not that meticulous in putting everything down onto my calendar. Sometimes I would have a text message, hey, a meeting is upcoming. Oh, Dan, you forgot this. Or I forgot the context of the meeting itself. I mean, my schedule was overloaded. I had so many things I needed to do, tasks that I put down there, projects that I need to meet with team members or partners or potential clients, meetings. Not prepared for the context because I needed a review. So many things was going on at one time. That needs a facelift. So what we do is we protect these focus blocks. We triage some of these invites that come in and prepare you for the meetings in a single page. Who's who, what you need to know, and what your next decisions are. By doing this, time doesn't control you, you control time. The third win is the most important: recurring tasks. Putting recurring tasks and putting them on rails is what we would do here. The reports, follow-ups, aging summaries for AR, post-meeting notes, distribution to your team members. Depending upon the industry and the type of business that you operate, you're probably working many of your operations in a routine. You just might not be writing it down. It might be on your head. You might be thinking in memory, muscle memory even, right? Or your team is operating in the same way as well. This is the time that you buy back the time it takes to do these tasks. Why? Because you have to repeat and recall over and over and over again. You take this time in Launch to start documenting these repeat processes, these repeat tasks, these systems that have not been written down. Start writing it down. We will help you build that, documenting these things on whether it's a Word document, utilizing various different software and tools that we use in-house as well, and then figuring out routine. And then reviewing these routine instead of constantly micromanaging where things are at. So that was Launch VA, and that works because it's focused. And you're going to work with getting your time back in your initial wins. And there's also a lot of other things that we can do to get quick wins so that you can get time back. Now, when you get this time back, this is where we want to escalate, or you want to upgrade or advance to Launch Pro. because you don't want to put low frequency, high judgment, or high risk tasks in this stage with the launch VA. You might be requiring things that require sensitive data, deep product expertise, or things that are going to be changing on a weekly basis. That's when you want to move to Launch Pro. With our specialists with Launch Pro, whether that's administrative, finance related, sales related, marketing related, or even operational related, you need somebody with a specialized expertise so that you can run trial and error runs on your processes and systems. Not every process works, right? I know that firsthand. So you have to try. But if you are stuck in constantly chasing each of the outcomes, then you don't have the time or the bandwidth, or for me, brain power to figure out, is this working? And to come up with a plan or calibration strategy to find out another way or a method. That's where Launch Pro works, to be much more specific in your routines and systems. So Launch runs on a simple rhythm. You begin with Launch VA with our generalist. Clean up your inbox. Get your calendars better synced. Prepare better. Take time back. High frequency, low complex tasks. Recurring tasks are delegated now over to the generalist. Get your time back so that you can take a look at your systems, your processes. Then you move on to Launch Pro. Utilize our specialists. Focus on the separations within your organization. Admin, operation, finance, marketing, sales, service, tech support, development, R&D, whatever that may be that requires higher strategic thought. Utilize trial and error processes to figure out what works and what doesn't. So here's an example. Your inbox has hundreds, maybe even thousands of emails, non-labeled. You don't know which one is what. You're trying to utilize the star function even on Gmail. You're trying to create some organization blocks. However, you just can't keep up. Every day, you're getting bombarded with over 50 to 100 emails, whether it's advertising, newsletters, client communications, etc., but it's still just jam-packed, and you don't have the time to go over it one by one. Second, you have calendar functions such as meetings and placing these things on Google Calendar or some of the calendar on your CRMs, etc. But the features are there, but you're not able to actually implement it or use it. They're just added value features that you're paying for but not using. That's me. I know how that is. You're running into meetings without context. You're even asking the person in the meeting, I'm sorry, could you repeat what we were talked about last time? Or you're scrambling to trying to catch up in context, right? To understand what's going on. You jump into another task and then you forgot what the last task was or what are the other steps that you needed to do to get that task done. You're jumping into projects and then now you're spending most of your first initial 20, 30 minutes trying to catch up on the project context itself. And then you're like, oh, okay, that's right. That's the next step that I need to do. So on and so forth. You're chasing down so many different tasks that your team members doing, your own tasks, etc. Does that sound familiar? Well, within a matter of weeks, possibly even a few months, all these things can be organized. There's hope. There's light at the end of the tunnel. These things can be organized and managed. Your time can be bought back. So now that you've gotten your time back, what's next? Well, you want to take a look at your business operations as if you are a large company. Separate everything down into administrative, legal, operational, finance, marketing, sales, support, client experience. I mean, however way that your business, your industry can be separated if you were operating, let's just say, a large company within your industry. You might be running as even as a solopreneur, or you might have a small team within launch. It can still be separated. I know when I was operating my business for the first 3 years, doing it all by myself, I came to a point where I had to segment some of my time, and I didn't understand what was more important and what not. I hired a business coach, and he was saying you need to focus more on marketing and sales. And I was like, well, what's the difference between sales and marketing activities? Well, you need to do your administrative work, and you got to do this. And I didn't really understand what was what because I was so busy every day. I'd never had a chance to kind of sit down and breathe and digest. Let's say now that you do. What do? Well, break apart your operations. Find out what are the activities that's going on, whether it's yourself or your small team or your mid-sized team, and find out what are they doing separately? How can I dissect this so that I can concentrate on it one by one? Now that you've separated these quasi teams and departments, whether you have one person or you have 15 or 30 or 50, and you've created some separations in your operation. Now, you can focus on each one and start to look at the systems, the processes, the workflows that are being done in those segments or divisions and start documenting. It's not about what's correct and what's wrong. It's about what are we doing now, or what am I doing now? And start writing it down. What is the routine here? Step 1, what's this? Step 2, what's this? Step 3, what's this? What am I doing here? Don't judge it, just document it. If you want to go granular, you can. You can even break things down into actual technical components as well. What software am I clicking? What am I doing here? You can go as granular as you want as you start to document your processes and systems. If you have team members or helpers within your organization, ask them to start documenting these processes and systems. Now, this takes time. Now, you've bought back some time and you're ready to start documenting these things. You've divided up the company. You've created all the segments and separations. But even writing these things down can take a long time, and willpower, coordination, and focus. That's where launch comes in as well. We start writing down these systems. We start building playbooks. We start documenting systems, which then will allow you and your team to start reviewing these systems. Are they working? Are they not? Do they need some help? Is there a better way? Can I optimize them? These are the questions and the answers that you need to find out for your business. But you can't do it alone. But here's the good news. We can do that for you. You can't do it alone. You need help. You need assistance. There's light at the end of the tunnel. These are grueling tasks in essence, but it needs to be done so that you can get your time back. You can gain strategic overview for your business, organization, and teams. So now that you've built systems, you know the process, you've documented them, you tried them, you know what works, you know what doesn't, you're optimizing, you're calibrating, and then you're now confident that, oh, these are the things that are working for us. Now you're ready for delegate. You're ready to scale. When a recurring area, process, system stays steady for a few weeks or months, and the playbook answers 80% of the questions, okay, leaving a little bit of room for obvious optimizations, which is forever. That's when a manager and a weekly scorecard turns it into a standing outcome that you review. So launch buys back hours, inbox, calendar, the recurring tasks, building systems, SOPs, processes, so your day finally breathes. And when it's stable, delegate builds consistency. Automate comes later. Book a discovery call with Yokly or watch the launch one-on-one playlist to set this up step by step.